that, let's turn it over to Dustin Wiberg of Salt Lake County Parks and Recreation to discuss the Jordan River Regional Nature Park.
Yeah, great. Thank you for having me and being able to share just a couple minutes is all I was asked to share today. I don't have a ton of info because we're just on the front end of the project here, but let me share my screen at least. Hopefully you can all see that.
It's getting there. I think it's working. So there we go.
Awesome.
We can see it now. Thank you.
Okay, great. So the state legislature has designated an area from the SR 201 all the way down to, well, over subsequent years, it's moved further and further south, but now it goes from SR 201 down to 54th South, and it's called the Jordan River Recreation Area, if I'm remembering it right. And basically, it's additional funding that has been going toward an emphasis going toward about 150 feet on either side of the river. And so as with that designation, we have also designated a Jordan River Regional Park with the same extents. And so this purple outline kind of shows a study area that we're going to be looking at. The study area goes from the SR 201 all the way down to 5400 South. It's probably trying to load a little bit on your end, but so yeah, down to this Millrace Park. There's a lot of river in here. That's about 7 miles of river. And the county owns chunks of land within this area. There's also other municipalities, utility, Rocky Mountain Power, the state. There's a lot of lands here that are publicly owned. And so it's a really cool corridor. A lot of neat things that are happening there already. There's, some of our facilities. There's several parks that are there. The Tracy Aviary is in this area. Our new portion of the regional park, Pioneer Crossing, is also within this area, which is right here on the other side of the Oxbow Jail. And so there's a lot of facilities that are already there. And so what we're excited about is we just put out an RFP yesterday, actually, to do a master plan for this area. So the Jordan River Regional Park area. And we anticipate probably taking about 1.5 years to look at this, but we would like to look at things like the river function, the river corridor, preferred section or cross sections of the river. We'd like to look at recreational amenities that could work within that corridor, outside of even maybe the Jordan River Parkway. We would be working with multiple cities. There's 5 cities that this touches: West Valley, South Salt Lake, Mill Creek, Murray. Did I get them all? And Taylorsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5. So we'll be working with the various cities as well. A lot of interest in this area. And several years ago, the mayor's office, Salt Lake County Mayor's Office, put on a ideas competition for this similar area. There was even cash prizes that were offered up, and I can't remember the number of submissions that were put in, but some great ideas that came out of it. So we'll kind of be building off of some of those ideas. It was also a unique time as well with all these cities, including the county. There was a big group that went up to Boise, Idaho. Maybe some of you on the call were part of that. And I think it was really good. It was fun to see what Boise was doing and how they were embracing the river. Sometimes, at least you know, as I've talked to a couple people, we don't want to turn our backs to the river, right? And I think Boise exemplified that, where they had recreation in some spots, they had some development, but they also had some open areas. And it didn't seem like they were turning their back to the river necessarily. And so we're excited for this prospect to again master plan this area. It's obviously going to be a long-term plan, but what can we do? I guess the overall message is, what can we do to make to help the river become even that much more much better functionally, and just a place where people want to go see it? How do we help people get to that area? And once you're there, what are we going to do? And so those are some of the main questions that we're going to be asking in this master plan process. We'll be doing a lot of public involvement work in this effort as well, also creating technical advisory committee to help us along the way. And we're excited. We're really excited for this prospect. I think it's great timing as well with Salt Lake City doing their master plan of further to the north, you know, from 21st South to where it goes into the Great Salt Lake, I believe. And so I think this is a great time frame right now. There's a lot of emphasis along the river, and good timing, I think. So really excited about it. And again, we just got the RFP out yesterday. So if you know of anybody, any firms that who would want to chase this, let them know. So again, real brief introduction there, just a couple minutes, but any questions or comments?
Thank you. Dan, do you have a question or comment, or I couldn't tell if
I
you were
always
raising
do.
your hand or not, so.
I'm terrible. Yeah. So, hey, one comment, you know, we've got a nature area there, but
Yeah.
the river going by the nature area, you know, there's plenty of room for allowing the river to do more of what it would like to do, especially with the inflow of the you know, of the municipal water from the sewer treatment plant, right? But and
Yeah.
that area attracts so many birds and wildlife, and Heidi and I need to go check that out again. But I mean, it is incredible. But the river is not. It's just a canal. So if the river was able to function more like a river in there,
Yeah.
then that, you know, that's the kind of thing that a nature organization like mine would contribute.
Yeah, no, totally. Again, it's how do we help heal and help the river function the best way that it can? That's ultimately the resource that we want people to go see, right? And be interact with and be part of. And so those are going to be questions that we'll be asking. That area in particular, this is a challenging area because it's part of a levee system with the you know, so it may take an act of Congress to change some things there with the levy, but those are questions that we want to ask and we want to explore, because more meander in this area would be awesome.
County flood control.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
they would be a starting point for sure. So
thank you, Dan. And
Start with
and
Bob.
yeah, I was
yeah,
just, that goes to my question. Are you working with watershed planning restoration with the county on this as
we will,
well?
we will be. Yeah, in fact, Bob will be one of the members of our selection committee. And we see them as being an integral part in this process. Again, thinking of river function, making sure that we're giving it the best chance that it has. Like Dan mentioned, there are, you know, Redwood Nature Area is a good example, but there are some pockets along the way where we do have some bigger open space areas where we could, again, we'd like to look and evaluate what a meander might look like in some of these areas if we have possibility for it. So
Fantastic. No, that's great news. Thank you. And I'm glad there's this holistic approach looking at this, a regional approach, which is exciting. So having that connectivity, I think, is just critical for the river as well as the habitat, you know, and the wildlife too that utilize it. So,
yeah.
All right. Do we have other questions or thoughts to share?
I've got one. So I was just chatting with Nancy on the other screen. It sounds like, Dustin, you met with Michaela from the city, our city planner, working on the Emerald Ribbon Plan. I'm just curious.
Yes.
I'm really interested in standardizing up and down the river some of our procedures. So I'm curious if there's talk amongst our folks about that.
Other than being part of one of the committees for the Emerald, it's the Emerald Ribbon, right? Or yeah, Emerald Ribbon Project. We have participated in that, so we've been involved in that. I have had other conversations with Michaela on that. Certainly, I would agree it makes sense to look at, you know, trying to unify approaches, especially where you guys are just on the other side of 201 and 21st South. It makes sense to coordinate and make sure that we're following similar procedures or in alignment there. So yeah, in the future, I see Salt Lake City being a good key partner here as well.
Thanks, and I look forward to it. What a cool project.
Cool.
There was a comment in the link from Rachel to, if you have a comment in the chat, sorry, if you have a link to the RFP, to please share with Rachel and Soren, and then they can put that out in the newsletter.
Rachel, I actually have that, so I'll forward it to you. I just got it from the county folks yesterday.
Yeah. And actually, Soren will also agree, or has agreed to be also on the selection committee as well. So thank you, Soren.
Thank you,
You know,
so much.
it's interesting, Melissa's comment about, you know, kind of coordinating efforts. Hopefully the you know, the work we do with our technical advisory committee is an opportunity to coordinate some of that. We've tried to be aware of and support efforts from Saratoga Springs to North Salt Lake as these efforts are happening. And, you know, to the degree that we can be a resource and, you know, technical support for all of these projects. And that's really a big part of the role and function of the Jordan River Commission, to help make sure that this coordination is happening. I don't know if everybody gathered that, but, you know, when Nancy was talking about the regional park, that is literally just on the other side of the 201 freeway, that Glendale Golf Course and the regional park that they're talking about in Salt Lake City. So, I mean, this is really part of one continuous parkway, even though different jurisdictions are developing different parks in different parts of the river. They're all connected together by the river and by the trail network. So they're really all pretty continuous as we go up north and south.
Soren. Thank you, Dustin. Any final questions or comments for Dustin and about the county project? All right. Well, we look forward to hearing more, especially after your RFP is done and there's some conceptuals.
Definitely.
Great.
Thank you for letting me.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for letting me chat about it, and look forward to updates in the future.
Great. Thank you, Dustin.